Mitra and Bandhuvo, Namaste. Welcome to South Asia Maps, your intellectual Kshatriya channel. At South Asia Maps, your presenter Dr. Reddy will bring you South Asia-centric history, geography and culture in iconographic form of maps images for you. I will also be talking about generic things also. And today we are going to continue our series called GAME, that is Geographic Areas Made Easy abbreviation GAME. And there are many such previous presentations I made under GAME. The entire concept of GAME is I will take certain regions and I will talk about them so that the geographical areas are very easy for you to remember very intuitively by looking at a comparative outlook. That is the very important thing. If you know the geographical areas of the planet Earth and the important countries and population, you can understand a lot about the demography, culture, history, and modern society and economy. In the first 6 parts, I talked about in general the world, planet Earth. Then I talked about India and Pakistan. Then I talked about Pakistan provinces like Sindh, Pashchim Punjab, Balochistan, Khyber and so on, and northeastern India, Sikkim, Bhutan, Assam and Bengal, and ceded districts of Rayalaseema, that is Deccan, in Andhra Pradesh. I compared them with the rest of the regions in India. Then I compared the most important prominent princely states during the partition time, the princely state of Hyderabad, Asafia Hyderabad, Dogras, Jammu Kashmir. That was part 6. Now in part 7, I'll be talking about the next almost 10 or so. The series will be talking about Europe, and today part 7, that is Europe introduction. That is part 7, GAME, Europe and introduction. Before that, Mitram, this is my Twitter site, India Maps 2. You can also find me there. And my main YouTube channel, South Asia Maps, Reddy. I have more than nearly 280 or so videos, and you can look at them and make comments on them. And if you like them, you can subscribe them too. And the current presentation I will be posting in the playlist called GAME. You see there are 7 there already, and playlist GAME. I organized these 270 presentations in very intuitive way. Different regions, Punjab and districts of India, the treaties and wars, and Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Bombay Presidency, Madras Presidency, and varied topics, and whichever you like, you can go and look at them. And before we talk about the current presentation, part 7, that is GAME, Europe, Geographic Areas Made Easy, it is always better to have a global perspective. When you look this planet Earth, the only planet that is habitable, always remember very easy. The entire land area in the planet we describe in million square kilometers, whereas some individual countries we talk in 1,000 square kilometers. The million square kilometers, in a year you have 360 days or so, so that is the water body, 360 million square kilometers. Whereas the rest, you say a person will live around about 100 years, add 50, 150. Imagine he's a supernatural person. He lives 150, that is the land area. 150 million square kilometers land mass, 360 square kilometers seas and oceans, water bodies. So that very important thing, so that you should have in mind and to understand the rest of the things. The continents. There are 4 geographical entities that have 10 million square kilometers each. Canada, China, USA, Europe. Almost 10 with a little difference. So entire Europe west of Ural Mountains 10, Canada 10 million square kilometers, United States 10 million square kilometers, China 10. So I have mentioned here. You remember South Asia, that is around about 4. That is, India is 3.2 and Pakistan is 0.8 million square kilometers, makes 4. Other easier way to remember is Europe is 10, Africa is 3 times to that. And Europe is 10, Africa is 3 times, and think Asia, the rest of Asia, east of Ural Mountains, is around 4 times of Europe. That becomes 40. Add 4 of South Asia becomes 44. This is the generic view. If you keep in mind, you can follow my rest of the presentations very easily, and you will get articulation about any country very easily as we go in the series of our presentations. Geographic areas made easy. This presentation I will give you a brief generic description, introduction of Europe. Europe is a very important continent, played an important role in consolidation of Christianity, later the navigations and discoveries, and consolidation of European imperialism and colonialism, and so on. Prominent European languages like English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese, they are spread world over during the colonial time and still play an important role and spoken as a secondary or tertiary languages in many parts of the world. So Europe is generally considered west of Ural Mountains and Caspian Sea and Ural Sea here. And this is like a Mediterranean Sea and so on. 10 million square kilometers, here we see Europe. Europe, Asia and Africa used to be a one continent broadly before the water body Suez Canal cut it. EuroAfrAsia, that means 10 and 30 is 40 here, and 40 there, 80, and for South Asia 44, round about 88 million square kilometers is EuroAfrAsia, Europe, Africa and Asia. EuroAfrAsia is 88. When you talk about Europe, there is again the difficulty comes because a very big nation, Russia, is transcontinental. It is present this side of Ural Mountains and that side of Ural Mountains. So again, it's very difficult to manage it. But very easy way is Russia itself is 17 million square kilometers, among which 4 is in Europe, that is west of Ural Mountains. So if Europe as a whole is 10, 4 is taken by Russia, Europe is actually 6 million square kilometers. That is very important to remember. There are 50 countries in Europe today. 50 or 51 the way, the most important one. So if you say 50 countries, 10 million square kilometers, if you take it, divide it, then it becomes 200k. This is 1000 square kilometers, not million, remember. This is 10 million, that is 10,000. 1000 square kilometers divided by 50 is 200k. If you take away the Russia is very big, that is 4 out of 10, then 6 remains, divided by 50 will be 120. That means an average European country with Russia is around about 200k. An average European country size in terms of land mass is 130k. Remember, these are 1000 square kilometers, not million. Million, remember the planet Earth and continents, 1000 is countries. 130 size of the Greece, that is same as the Indian southern province of Tamil Nadu in Deccan. That is 130 1000 square kilometers. Whereas the Belarus, Eastern Europe, is almost equal to Western Punjab, that is in Pakistan, 200,000 square kilometers. So you remember Belarus, you remember Greece. Before you remember anything about the continents, always remember a country called Egypt, that is 1000 kilometers, 1000 kilometers, 1000 and all side almost makes it 1 million square kilometer. That's why I put 1 here. So that is Egypt is 1 million square kilometers. So we put Egypt here, the yellow blob, 1 million square kilometers. That means in Europe you can put round about 10 countries of size of Egypt. And if you take Russia, you can put entire West Europe 6 countries of size of Egypt. That's very important. Again, the average countryside Belarus and Greece we have discussed already. And here again I have given the landmass. Total the planet Earth surface area is a sphere. You can calculate based upon the diameter of the size of 12,000 kilometers from Singapore to Singapore. Circumference is 30,000. You can calculate. Comes around about 510. This is in the millions. Among which 360, same as the number of the days in a year, is a water body, and round about 150 is the landmass. Among 150, 10 is taken by Europe, and among 10 in Europe, 4 is the Russian part here, and 6 is the non-Russian part of Europe here. The Russia itself is on the other side of Ural Mountains is 13 million square kilometers. So 13 plus 4 becomes 17 entire Russia. That means if you say Europe is 6 units, that is million, east side of Russia is even the double of Europe. That is 6 plus 6 is 12, actually 13. Until the touching the Amur River in near Korea and China, and Vladivostok close to Japan. So this is the broader perspective, the introduction of Europe for the audience. This is very important, and if you keep this in mind, the rest of the series we can go, and I will tell you very intuitive way in my series of game. That is the geographical areas made easy, so that when you look at any country by comparatively or intuitiveness, you can roughly estimate the size of the country, and you can present in your talks country size, the population densities, and you will be very much appreciated as a very good contributor who brought very intuitive and intelligent contributions to your audience. See you later in other presentations. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy, at your intellectual Kshatriya channel, South Asia Maps. Mitram and Bandhuvam, see you later in other presentations. And if you like the presentations and or want to say anything about these presentations, please feel comfortable to post your comments, and I will take them into consideration. See you later in other presentations.